Hey everyone! Today we're diving into something that affects pretty much every single dog owner out there, but it's something we tend to push aside until, well, it's a real problem. We're talking about your dog's dental health. So let's just kick things off with a quick question. If you had to guess the number one most common health problem that vets see in dogs, what would you say? Maybe skin allergies or maybe achy joints in older dogs? The answer, believe it or not, for the huge majority of adult dogs, is dental disease. But here's the really important part, the part that should make us all sit up and listen. Unlike so many other health problems, this one is almost entirely preventable. So that kind of begs the question, right? If it's so common, why aren't we all talking about it constantly? Well, that brings us to our first section, the unspoken problem. Let's get into why so many of us completely miss the signs. The reality is, for most of us, we're reactive. We're not proactive. We just kind of accept doggy breath as a normal part of life, or we see yellow teeth and think, oh, my dog's just getting older. But the truth is, these are usually the first warning signs that a problem is already starting to brew. And this is really where we need to start paying closer attention, because poor dental hygiene, oh man, it goes so far beyond just a stinky mouth. As you're about to see, the connection between their teeth and their overall health runs deep, and the consequences can be incredibly serious. It all starts out so simple. First, you just get some normal bacteria building up in the mouth. That bacteria then forms a sticky, gross film we call plaque. Now, if you don't get rid of that plaque, it hardens into tartar, which is like cement on their teeth. And from there, it's a slippery slope right into gum disease and really painful infections. Now, here's the real kicker. An infection that starts in the mouth doesn't always stay in the mouth. This is the part we absolutely cannot ignore. That nasty bacteria can actually get into your dog's bloodstream, and from there, it basically has a superhighway to the rest of their body. And where does that bacteria end up? Well, it can travel to and cause serious damage to some of the most important organs in their body. We're talking about the heart, the liver, and the kidneys. So what started as a totally preventable issue in their mouth has now snowballed into a systemic, life-threatening problem. And what makes all of this even tougher is that dogs are absolute masters at hiding their pain. It's an old survival instinct. They could be dealing with a seriously painful mouth for months, maybe even years, and you might have absolutely no idea until the disease is really, really advanced. So, what are the red flags we should be looking for? Okay, beyond that stinky breath and the obvious tartar buildup, look for gums that are red or swollen or maybe even bleeding a little. Watch them when they eat. Are they having trouble or dropping food? Do you ever see them pawing at their mouth? Any of these signs means it's definitely time to investigate. Okay, so prevention isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you don't do. And that takes us right into the kitchen, where some hidden dangers might be lurking. Let's talk about a few common things you've got to watch out for. I want to start with the absolute most dangerous one. There is a common sweetener out there that poses a truly deadly threat to our dogs. It's called xylitol. It's a sugar substitute that's totally fine for us, but it's incredibly toxic to dogs. See, what it does is it tricks their body into releasing a massive, sudden wave of insulin that causes their blood sugar to crash to dangerously low levels. Now, we all know it's in sugar-free gum, but here's the one you have to know. It can also be found in some brands of peanut butter. You must always check the label. And please, make no mistake about this. This is not a little bit won't hurt situation. Even tiny amounts of xylitol can cause liver failure and be fatal. The message here is crystal clear. Human sweets are never, ever safe for your dog. So, what about bones? People are always debating this, but the rule is actually super simple. Raw bones that are the right size for your dog can be fantastic for scraping away plaque. But, and this is a big but, you should never, ever give a dog a cooked bone. Cooking makes them brittle, and they can splinter and cause horrific internal injuries. All right, enough of the scary stuff. We've talked about the problems and the dangers. Now for the good news. The solutions are actually really straightforward. So let's open up your dog's dental toolkit. You've really got two main tools at your disposal. First, you've got brushing. This is the gold standard. There is nothing more effective at physically removing that plaque. Then you have dental chews. They can be a great helping hand for sure, reducing some of that buildup, but it is absolutely critical to understand that they are a supplement. They are not a replacement for brushing. So how do you actually do it? It's way easier than it sounds. First, and this is totally non-negotiable, you can only use toothpaste made for dogs. Human toothpaste has stuff in it that's toxic for them. Then, just start slow. Let them lick a little paste off your finger. Then gently lift their lips and just brush in small circles. You really only need to focus on the outside of the teeth. That's where most of the tartar builds up. And how often should you be doing this? Well, the ideal perfect world goal is every day. But let's be realistic. The absolute minimum you should be aiming for is 2 to 3 times a week. It's the consistency that really makes all the difference. Okay, so let's pull all of this together and wrap it up. We're going to build a simple lifetime habit. The goal here isn't some short-term fix. It's about creating a simple routine that will protect your dog for their entire life. So to put it simply, here are the biggest mistakes you want to avoid. Number 1, just ignoring their teeth altogether. Using human toothpaste, that's a huge no-no. Relying only on chews and thinking that's enough. And of course, feeding them unsafe foods, especially any sweets that might contain xylitol. So what does a great routine actually look like? It's easy. First, brush their teeth regularly. Supplement that with some safe dental chews and toys. If you offer bones, make sure they're raw and the right size. Be super vigilant about avoiding those harmful foods. And finally, make sure you schedule regular dental checkups with your vet. That's it. That is the complete proactive plan. And hey, one last pro tip for anyone out there who has a puppy or is maybe thinking about getting one. Start this routine as early as you possibly can. Getting a little puppy used to having their mouth handled and their teeth brushed is infinitely easier than trying to start with an older dog who's already set in their ways. You know, at the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. Your dog completely depends on you. They can't raise a paw and tell you, hey, I have a really bad toothache. They just can't. But with just a few simple, consistent habits, you have all the power you need to prevent that pain and to protect their health for their entire life.